We're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need great help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shawty, she better than all my I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you to the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Now, it's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OG in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Well, a lot of superlatives being thrown around. Biggest game in the history of the franchise. We are stronger than we've ever been. All kinds of. It's talking season in some respects, and it's playing season in another respect when it comes to the biggest game in franchise history for New United. What's up? And Merry Wednesday, boys and girls. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. How you living?
What it do?
You all right back there?
All right.
All right, lots. Biggest day, biggest game in the history of New Mexico United, and they will be in LA today and play the U.S. Open Cup against Los Angeles FC. Was it the biggest game in the history of the franchise, JJ?
Yeah, they haven't had that postseason moment yet, which I think can come this season.
I think so.
This would be the biggest win in the history of the franchise.
Okay, the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup, and they'll be on the road. So we'll get there. Lots of stuff happening here in Vegas today. We got USA Canada over at the Thomas and Mack later today. That's the U.S. Olympic team, exhibition basketball, and getting ready for the Olympics. Big 12 Media Day. Deion Sanders will be on the stage today. JJ, that's like a big attraction over at Allegiant Stadium, and everybody can't wait to hear what Deion has to say. And, of course, Mountain West Conference gets started today with their media days, and Gloria Nevares will speak here in about 2 hours and give her state of the conference. So a lot going on, and headlines. And, I sometimes I forget the media day circus, JJ, and I know I sent you some pictures of just how big it is. Like BYU TV sent, and God bless them for doing it, but I mean they had to send a crew of 12, 15 people and a whole set, and they were big. Just the presence was insane. Big 12 did it at Allegiant Stadium yesterday. It was something. The headline that's coming out of there probably was Mike Gundy, huh? Is that kind of what I'm hearing after everything I heard and everything I listened to? Was Mike Gundy. He's a man. He's 50-something with magnificent hair. So he was on the podium. JJ, so the Mountain West doesn't do this, but most of the other leagues do. Each coach is on the podium. And Mike Gundy was asked whilst on the podium about Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon is his star running back, and he got a DUI arrest, driving under the influence. And while on the podium, he basically just said, he's going to play. I made the decision, and Ollie's here, and he's going to address it. And we're hoping that after today it's addressed, and we put it behind us, and I think we're going to be able to accomplish that. And then there's a bunch of breakout sessions, and there's a table in the back where they sit there, and the media get there, and they do a lot of one-on-ones. He was on the ESPN Plus broadcast. This is Oklahoma State's coach Mike Gundy. And evidently Gordon blew a .10. And the legal limit in Oklahoma is .08. And he said, Gundy said he looked up the metric, which he claimed would be 2 to 3 beers. And Gundy said that could easily have been him guilty of that 1,000 times and got lucky that it didn't turn into a serious situation. Quote, one thing I can say in year 20 as a head coach that I probably wouldn't say in year 2 is everyone needs to look in the mirror and think, have I done that and not gotten caught? Gundy said. Have I had 2 or 3 beers, drove a car? Because 2 or 3 beers can put you over the legal limit. People need to put some thought into that, not throw stones through glass windows. Now, that's it, right? And I want him to understand the seriousness as a parent, and I think he did. And so JJ, he took a lot of heat for minimizing the the decisions that Ollie Gordon made. I was there when he made the initial statement, and essentially what I had heard, and because I didn't hear him say this, was young man made a mistake. We all make mistakes. Many of us have made that mistake, and I'm not going to end his season for it. There's going to be penalties for it, but I'm not sitting for the season. What did you hear?
I heard a dude that's been there for so long that there's zero accountability even for Coach Gundy at this point. He's like, what are you going to do to me? And for football players, it's playing time. You don't have to end the season, but there's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. As much as Mike Gundy tried to spin it and say, we've all been there, y'all. We've all been there. It's just 2 or 3 beers. Think about all the drinking that you do every single day and driving. It's playing time. Like, suspend this dude for the first game. Instead, he said his punishment is going to be, we're going to make you carry the ball 50 times. You're going to give your star running back every other play. Like, that's going to upset him. Like, this is just, it's the classic, dude's been there so
He's
long.
really good.
He's smarter than everyone else. Bleep off. That's exactly how Mike Gundy came across.
Okay, no, and I could see that too. Ollie Gordon was there, and he faced the questions. The player did. He said, showing maturity, being here, being able to face everything that's going on. I feel like it would be disrespectful to have my coaches and teammates up here having to answer questions when I could be there to answer them. That was part of what he said. Now, look, this is a good player. He won the Doak Walker Award last year. Top running back in college football. If he was the third string guy, would it be any different? I don't know. Maybe. But this is probably the best running back in that league. Maybe the best running back in the country. But JJ, yeah, I could see how he came across that way. As, what are you going to do to me? You know, I've been here, 18 years, and there's nothing you can do to me. He said there's internal stuff that he's got to do, and there will be some punishment. I always wonder, how do you handle something like this? Like, what's the right thing? A kid gets a DUI. What is the right thing? Do you sit him for the first game? Do you what do you do? I don't know. Maybe you have to have a protocol on your team. Is it different for your star running back than your third string linebacker? Is it different for a first time offense as opposed to a guy who may have been giving you some trouble before? And I guess all those answers is probably yes, right?
Game time. Playing time.
All right, so what would you have done? Sat him for a game?
Game easy. Like, at least this isn't one where you can't talk yourself out of this. It's a 20-year-old that was drinking and driving, still had alcohol in his vehicle.
Oh, by the way, was underage,
Over the legal limit.
Yep.
You can try to spin it all you want, Mike Gundy. You just, it's... I don't know why it's so hard sometimes for these coaches to just be like, playing time. It's, you run extra gas or this or that. They say all the things behind closed doors that are happening, sure, but the ultimate thing with players is playing time. And now you just have this. If you're Oklahoma State, you're like, oh, really? Like, here we go, star player gets away with it, and here we go.
They open up against South Dakota State, so you just said, look, man, you're not playing the opener. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's an easy one where that's not going to hurt your football team.
It's easy.
You can say, hey, he took a hit with playing time, all the other stuff that's going on, boom. But then you come out like this and you try to spin it and go, well, we all get lucky thousands of times. It doesn't take away what happened. Like, just try to...
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, so there's that. Let me give you phone numbers to get in. 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. Your emails are in. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. And you can find us on the X, or at least find JJ there at _JJ Buck. We are on your visuals on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, on Xfinity Comcast Channel 26, and on the YouTube page for ProView Networks. Adrian is producing for you there today. I listened to Brett Yormark's. I was there for his whole TED Talk. It was really weird, JJ. So it's at Allegiant Stadium, right? So we're in the, I don't know, I'm going to guess south end zone of Allegiant Stadium, where they have the big stage set up and about 50 yards worth of seats, and there's a lot of media. And so Yormark comes out, the commissioner of the Big 12, and he's got like a stack of papers in his hand, right? And he says, "Well, I'm not going to stand by the podium. I want to walk." Well, we went out, so I'm figuring, all right, we're going to get a TED Talk. And Brett Yormark's really bright. But he stood there and read his papers and didn't really move. I mean, instead of going to the podium, it was really bizarre. But a number of the things that he said, he said, we are the deepest conference in America. He said, we're better than we've ever been. I wonder how that went over in the ACC, or more so in the SEC and the Big Ten. Do you think they're the deepest conference in America? And how do you? My question was, how do you lose Oklahoma and Texas? And you added Utah, who's your best, who's now the favorite to win your league. Colorado, Arizona State, and tell me you're better than you've ever been. And I get it. You've got to say we're moving on. But do you feel, A, they're the deepest conference in America, the Big 12, and B, better than they've ever been without Texas and Oklahoma?
They're not better than they've ever been when it comes to football. And what was yesterday, it was football media days. And
yep, that
is what is driving the bus to drink for college athletics in the conferences right now. A commissioner hyping his league, I'm not going to get crazy about it. I don't think they're the deepest conference. I think that, they're clearly positioned to be the third best conference overall. Is that right? Just think the SEC and Big Ten they have a stranglehold on that when it comes to college football right now. And then you look at the overall footprint of the league, what they can be in basketball, which is still very good. It was the right message to present.
Fair enough. That's fair. There were really interesting stuff about finding different windows. I don't know how many people view Thursday games, Wednesday games, whatever. But he said, look, the Saturday landscape is very, very full, and that we are looking at different windows. He talked about Mexico playing games there. It was interesting. As far as the Big 12. We'll get into what the Mountain West is doing, and we'll hear a lot more of that today, probably during the show today. I would assume we're going to get preseason polls and all of that stuff. So 505-246-0610, come on in, 888-922-0610 if you are still paying tolls. Your emails, again, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. We got Rory McIlroy talk today, so that is new today. We're going to get into what Rory had to say. He's across the pond. The Scottish Open is where he is. He's going to defend his championship there. Really the first time that he has spoken since the U.S. Open meltdown. And we'll hear from Rory and what he has to say. We'll do that coming up when we come back. I want to tell you about the Albuquerque Convention Center, because if you are looking to plan an event, if you are an event any size, from 2 people to 20 people to 200 to 20,000 people, the Albuquerque Convention Center will take care of you in the heart of downtown Albuquerque with diverse spaces. They will accommodate anything imaginable. So if from intimate meetings and gatherings to grand expos and conferences to wedding receptions, whatever you're looking to do, they've got the staff, the service, food and beverage options that go above and beyond, and it'll make your dream event a reality. I go to many events there. I host events there. We've done it for years because they come through and deliver above and beyond all the time. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. It's right in downtown Albuquerque. Beautiful, great service, incredible accessibility. Be at the center of it all. Visit albuquerquecc.com for more information, or call them at 505-768-4575.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
Oh, real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView
Rory
Sports
McIlroy
and
spoke today to the media. First time since the U.S. Open, JJ. I guess, what is it, collapse? Is that the right word? I guess that's right, when he missed the putts on 16 and 18 and lost to Bryson DeChambeau and left the parking lot, and everybody kind of lost their mind on it. That was about 3 weeks ago, a little over 3 weeks ago. And if you recall, he was winning. And in his words, it was a great day until it wasn't. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Remember, Rory missed short putts about within 4 feet. And again, not easy putts. It's easy to sit there and say easy from where you're sitting, and but makeable. And putts that he had made. What was the number? Do you remember? Was it 400 and something like 469 or something putts that he had made in a row inside 4 feet?
It was near 400.
Yeah, it was something bonkers. And then on 16 and 18, he missed them. And Bryson DeChambeau went on and won the U.S. Open. And Rory said it was a great day until it wasn't. His quotes this morning, he was at is at the Scottish Open trying to defend his title. He said, I got over it pretty quickly. The few days after it were pretty tough at times, but I feel like I've done a good job of thinking about it rationally and constructively and taking what I need from it and trying to learn from it. But for the most part, it was a great day. I keep saying to people, it was a great day until it wasn't, end quote. I think this was something people were really interested to see, his demeanor, how he did this, and it looked like he was Rory McIlroy. And I think he'll get over it, JJ. I think it's a guy who's been looking for it for 10 years, trying to get the next major. He's still playing at the top of the game. He is still one of the best, I don't know, pick your number, 3, 5, whatever golfers in the world, who's having a pretty good season. But he said he started feeling uncomfortable after hitting his first putt on 16. He waited for Patrick Cantlay to putt. He hit a 2.5 footer too hard. It lipped out. Hadn't missed a putt inside 3 feet all season long. He said, halfway down the first putt, it looked like it could be a birdie, and I ran a foot by where I thought I was going to finish. Then I marked it, and Patrick was hitting his putt, and he could take his time. Obviously, greens are tough. It's the end of Sunday at the U.S. Open. You have to be really deliberate in what you're doing. Did you see his demeanor at all? Did you see him today?
I wasn't worried about McIlroy at all, being able to bounce back from it. It's who he's been the last 10 years and trying to chase another major title. I think in the moment of frustration, and we discussed it, and I think a lot of people realized that that's not who he's been. He doesn't run away from things, and that was, I think, a bad moment, but it's not who he was overall as a player. And I don't expect anything less from Rory McIlroy. I think he's going to be locked in. I think he's going to be solid this weekend, solid at the Open as well. And I don't think that his collapse is something that then we're going to see him not able to put 4 rounds together. Am I going to pick him to win? Probably not. But am I going to pick him to have good weekends?
To be right there?
Yes.
Yeah, to be right there. He says, when I look back on that day, just like I look back on some of my toughest moments in my career, I'll learn from it, and I'll hopefully put that to good use. It's something that's been a bit of a theme throughout my career. I've been able to take those tough moments and turn them into great things not very long after that. That was his quote, or another one of his quotes. Look, I think this would be a lot tougher to get over if he had not ever won one. If this was, the guy, I don't know who it is today, who's today's best golfer to never win a major. Who we crowning that? Whoever, if that was that guy, like Xander Schauffele was before he won the PGA Championship this year, then it might be a lot tougher to get over. But he said, I think as you achieve more in the game and you soften the blow, if you look at everything I've been able to accomplish. It's been a while since I've won a major. It hurt, but I felt worse after some other losses. I felt worse after Augusta in 11. I felt worse after St. Andrews in 2022. I was up there with the tough losses. This was up there with the tough losses, but not the toughest. And I guess that's perspective, right? And that comes with maturity. That comes with age. That comes with knowing that you've got one or two that you've already won, and that certainly has to help. But I'm with you on the Rory thing. I think that he comes back. He is there when it's all said and done. He's going to be in the mix again. And again, I don't know that I've got a big question mark about it. I think I think at some point he's going to win, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was this week. Just wouldn't be. Or next week. Next week.
I would see him win this weekend and compete good at the Open.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. If you want to get in, you can. 505-246-0610. Emails coming in, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. All right. You excited about USA Canada today? Canada, I don't think until you look at Canada's roster, sometimes people don't realize what Canada's got on the basketball floor, JJ. That's a heck of a team. And you look around the league, and there's a lot of pretty damn good Canadian players who are playing basketball in the NBA, and you're going to see them on Team Canada. And I think it's going to be pretty entertaining over at Thomas and Mack tonight.
The rosters are legit. I'm not expecting much of a game.
Really?
I think there's going to be a lot of coasting.
Okay. Well, right, because it's a friendly and it's not insane.
Unless Cooper Flag was on the floor.
Oh,
he might be on that team and take Kevin Durant's spot.
All right, fair enough. Can they claim him? I mean, can they claim him? Where do you get it?
Be ready to.
Yeah, it's on FS1 tonight. All right, 505-246-0610. Come on in and play radio with us. All right, what do you expect to hear from Commissioner? What do you want to hear from Gloria Nevarez today? The Mountain West Commissioner is going to give her state of the conference here coming up in a little bit. I want to get into some of the big issues. I listened to Brett Yormark yesterday, the Big 12. What do you want to hear out of the Mountain West Commissioner? We'll get into some of that next. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck, glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From 4 till 7 on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Opening drive, we're in Vegas and in Albuquerque. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck, Mountain West Conference Media Days get started here a little over an hour and a half, right about an hour and a half. And then we got a lot going on. You'll get your preseason polls and all of those things that are come out, and players of the year and your conference teams and that kind of stuff. What do you want to hear from the commissioner? What is it that you're looking to hear? And JJ, these always interest me because there's always a theme that comes out of it. And I'm going to guess that Gloria, who I want to preface this, I think Gloria Nevares has done a terrific job. Are you on the same page with that, by the way, as far as what she's been as a commissioner since she took over for Craig?
Yeah, I think that there hasn't been any major problems. The scheduling agreement with Washington State and Oregon State was a good thing for the next 2 years. Try to build that relationship with those two schools out there that could either become a merger, play a part in it. But this is one where, other than presenting a positive message, the commissioner can't really do much because you're at the mercy of these school presidents and anything can happen anytime. So you just try to make sure everyone's on the same page, but it's one where today you could be like the Mountain West is strong as ever, and then tomorrow you wake up and be like, well, 6 of the teams have decided to reform the Pac-12.
That could all that could happen, and so I think the volatility is going to be a big theme, and we'll hear that they are the strongest, the best non P4 conference, right? The American. And maybe they are. The American's been weakened. Right now, evidently, the Sun Belt grades out as the best Group of 5 conference. There's a SP plus metric, JJ, that they use. Boise State and Fresno State, and look, I think what UNLV did, and Barry Odom's a hell of a coach. I think they're really exciting. So there's contenders. Can one of them be in the Group of 5, get that guaranteed playoff spot? It's been a long time, JJ, since the Mountain West had the team in the Group of 5 spot. So I think we're going to hear that theme, that there's unity, and it's going to be interesting to hear. If I'm not mistaken, I think the athletic directors are here too, and it's going to be interesting to hear what the theme is in regards to actual unity, loyalty. You got the coaches aren't going to have a say in what they think the conference should look like going forward as far as construction. Hell, there's 7 of them out of the 12 who are brand new, who have not coached in this league as a head coach before. And so I'm looking not to hear a lot from them, but I am interested in to hear what Gloria has to say in regards to the future and what it looks like. Look, there may not be a Mountain West, JJ, in 2 years. These teams, which would be an okay thing if they all go into the Pac-12 or the Pac or whatever. It could be the same league with Washington State and Oregon State under a different flag. It could be some of them under the Pac flag, and then would, I don't know, the remaining schools be the Mountain West, or would they go into another league? Or I just flat out. And as somebody told me yesterday over at Allegiant Stadium, anybody who sits here and tells you they know doesn't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows how this whole thing's going to go. And so I sit here and I say, all right, what is it I think fans want to hear from Gloria? And every fan base in this league believes they should be playing at whatever the next level is, right? San Diego State, Colorado State, Boise State, they're very vocal. Well, we're better than this league. Okay, but you're not because you're in it. New Mexico, Wyoming, UNLV, they're all, and I think UNLV is going to be the next. I mean, I heard a lot of UNLV to the Big 12 yesterday. There was a lot of that at the Big 12 media day, as them being the next team if they add. So I don't know, man. I expect to hear some unity messages, some positivity messages, accolades. Here's what we've done, and touting themselves as the best Group of 5 league in America and strong moving forward.
There's nothing that, and this isn't against any commissioner.
That's right.
There's nothing that the commissioner can say that's going to make you feel good, because each of these schools is going to act in their best interest. And if their best interest changes tomorrow, if a new opportunity comes up, they're moving. So nothing that's said today, other than just what you've accomplished to this point, is going to make a difference. Is going to be like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is why we're all in on the Mountain West Conference, because that's not the case. And we know that things change overnight, that there's so many moving pieces. So if I was the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference, my message would be about this season, where we've positioned ourselves in terms of our broadcast partners, our revenue, the strength of the conference as a whole in terms of how long they've been together, what they've been able to build, understanding you can't answer questions other than we have an agreement with Oregon State and Washington State with football, and we hope to keep building those relationships. You can't make statements about this or that. It's just who you are right now. And, maybe some of the conversations you've had about as a conference, is there any discussion about NIL, the house payments, this or that? But when I take all these commissioner State of the Unions with a grain of salt, because they're just doing their job, and it's hyping their conference, knowing that they really can't control anything that happens with the universities.
Are you more interested in when a coach talks about what he thinks as far as where you go, NIL, revenue sharing, that sort of thing, as opposed to the commissioner?
Yes, because they're the ones that it's directly affecting their program. They're the ones that are directly dealing with NIL payments and having to navigate those waters with recruiting and retainment right now.
I think that's right. I was listening to Joey McGuire, the coach of Texas Tech, yesterday, talk about revenue sharing. He says, look, at Texas Tech, whatever that number is, we're going to be at the max. We are maxed, and whatever they decide that number is, we're in on revenue sharing. And it was just interesting to listen, roster size limits, or everybody's waiting to hear on roster size limits. And, they were really adamant 85 is not enough. That's just not enough. You can't have a full scout team by October. You guys are down. You can't have full practices. Kyle Whittingham of Utah said 120 is the right number. He says actually 122. He says, I think we have 122 lockers in our locker room, and that way nobody has to share lockers. But, McGuire said 105 is the right number. That's about the right number. You can have full scout teams, and I agree with you. I'm way more interested there. What do you think? No, I think it's easy. What do you think the reception on Bronco is? Do you think it's Bronco Mendenhall with New Mexico's new coach? Do you think the media around this league, and you've been here enough times now, that you always kind of, you know who's strutting around, and as far as media, you know how this game plays. How do you think he's received today? What do you think do you think people are asking, why'd you take that job, more than, hey, what do you have?
I think that would be about split. It starts with, why New Mexico, and then who are you?
Yeah.
And what got you back into it, and they're going to find out that the message you get from Bronco Mendenhall is he likes challenges, and this is a challenge.
Yeah, it's a hell of a challenge. It's going to be really interesting to see. I think, there'll be some media who are familiar with him, certainly the Utah State media, but I'm interested in certainly, the Boise and Fresno media, how they respond and where that goes, and I'll follow that a little bit today. I'm not going to go crazy and talk to everybody and probably not bring you back a lot of stuff this time. But I'm interested to see how that plays out. I'm also interested, the Utah State stuff, man, with Nate Dreiling is going to be, interesting in another way, because their head coach, Blake Anderson, was relieved of his duties just days ago. And Nate Dreiling, who last season was at New Mexico State as the defensive coordinator, is now the head football coach, or at least acting head football coach, and thrust in the position where he's got to answer all the questions and be the guy. And the questions are all going to be about the situation with his now former boss and where they go with that. And that's going to come out as a pretty big story today. And then I'm looking to see where else this thing goes. San Diego State, I think last year their whole deal was, you had to crawl back into the league. I don't know. What is there another big story that you're looking for to come out of this? Is there something bubbling around one of these teams?
I think just when stuff starts coming out today, and you see all conference teams, and just get an idea of some of the returning players, who they like as the newcomers, the talking points that you'll get from the preseason poll, which is a gigantic unknown, I think even more so now than ever with the roster turnover on all of these teams, given the fact that, you mentioned it, we're looking at 7 new leaders, head coaches in this conference. I think today is going to provide a lot of storylines to discuss.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. What do you want to hear today? As they open up media day, and it's football season, and you're in it, and what are you expecting to hear today? What is it you want to hear today from the conference commissioner, Gloria Nevarez, and then from Bronco Mendenhall as they go through the next couple of days, and the players will be here as well. Hey, perfect time is now to call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. I love when On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes over to the office and details my vehicle, inside and outside and under the hood, around the rim. This is what the car dealers do. This is that new car feeling, that new car smell, without having to get a brand new car. They come to you where it's convenient for you, when it's convenient for you, at the office for me. You're busy, I'm busy. We're all busy. So they come out and detail your vehicle. When they're done, it looks, it feels, it smells like it's brand new. And I know you remember how fun it was to drive your vehicle when it was brand new. They were voted best of the city. You're going to find out why when they come out and detail your vehicle. So schedule your appointment today. I just love the service. It's a great gift, by the way, if you're looking for just a wonderful gift that maybe people don't buy for themselves. Call them at 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859, or you can book online at otsdetailing.com.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505 897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, 505-246-0610. Come on in today. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Going to take it, Isotopes lost last night, just from the emails I'm getting this morning. Is that about right? What time does the party start? Sid says, 18-year-old daughter home alone. What I want to know is what time does the party start at your house? What happened to Sid's invitation? I can bring the water. We've got safeguards for that. I promise you that. Yeah, we've got safeguards for that. All right, what do you want to hear today from the commissioner? What did you hear from the Big 12 yesterday? All that's available for you, 505-246-0610. Dan says Jeffrey and Juan Jose in a 75-game sprint to the finish line. You can't afford a 4-game losing streak. You're probably right. Gus says this could be the most interesting end to a baseball season around here in a long time. Reno currently leads your league for that final playoff berth, and Isotopes get them twice in the last 4 series. But for those games to mean anything, Albuquerque's baseball team needs to win an early post time today. You get day ball today, by the way. Day ball out at the ballpark. What's the weather today? You hitting 100 today?
Weather today, high 94.
Well, that's not bad. It's not like dude. 118 is so hot. Like I know that's like really, dude. No kidding, duh. But when you go outside and it's 118, it's insane, man. It's yeah. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you, 118 is really, really, really warm. All right, we got in the National Football League as we head closer and closer and closer now to opening up camps. Dak is locked in. Dak Prescott said he's thrown to CeeDee Lamb a good amount, Cowboy fan. How you feeling? He said they got together this offseason quite a bit, and the two plan for more work before training camp. Now, CeeDee Lamb did not go to the offseason program. He didn't go to the mandatory minicamp. It could cost him over $100,000 in fines, but if he gets paid, it doesn't matter. Cowboys' first training camp is July 25th, so we're 2 weeks from tomorrow. CeeDee Lamb's not expected to be there. Although, and maybe this will make you feel better, maybe it won't, Cowboy fan. Dak Prescott says CeeDee's going to be ready. A player like that, an athlete like that, he makes my job easier. He will be just fine. Trust me, we will be just fine. I don't know, man. Are you as confident that we, Cowboy fan, Cowboy Nation, the Cowboys, are going to be just fine? He shows up at some point, right?
And we know the narrative with Dak Prescott. It's everything is on the postseason. If they win, he gets paid. If they don't, someone else is going to pay him. I think that's where everyone just feels at this point in time. Dak Prescott is a good dude to have in this situation because you don't question his character. You don't question his readiness. And with all the noise, he's a dude I trust. Just to be ready, to be there, to be a solid person for this team in training camp. With the noise around CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons has been quiet. He hasn't been out there talking, but just his contract, knowing that he's the next one to get paid. Like, if there's a guy to trust through all this, I would trust Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I don't think he's going to be bothered by it. I don't think it's going to affect his play. Now, CeeDee Lamb missing time, and could you see a few bumps in the road early once he gets back on the field? Sure. It's an athlete not going through a full training camp. But I think when it comes down to it, whatever you feel about Dak Prescott in the postseason, he is the right guy right now just to handle all this for the Cowboys.
I think that's right, and he says he's healthy. Remember, what was it, earlier this week, I want to say? There was the report that came out that he was seen in Cabo, and he was in a walking boot, and it was on the X last week. He was at a youth football camp that he's hosting in Texas, and he said he's doing great. Quote, on the ankle, honestly, I'm getting older. It's the same ankle that I snapped, and I had nasty surgery on 4 years ago, so a couple of hard days of training, and, you get a little sore. And you're going on a fishing trip, and you want to protect it, and you make sure things don't get worse. Literally, it's absolutely nothing. People are reaching, trying to make things that they aren't. I'm getting older. I have to take care of my body. I have to be smart. If I can take precautions and lessen something by putting on a boot, I'll do it. Sorry that I caused such a worry. I'll take him at his word. I just don't know that I've ever heard of somebody putting the boot on and walking around in Cabo in a boot as a precaution. Have you?
It's probably sore. Like, you don't put that on just for the heck of it.
No, I would assume not. And he says he's sore. I mean, like you said, I'm getting older. It's an ankle that I've snapped, and but I'm fine. And I'm going to take him at his word. I mean, that's a guy that I'll take it at his word. He's 30 years old, getting older. I imagine at 30 years old. Yep, you're older than you were when you were 25. I'll give you that. Gets $29 million this year. He's been asked incessantly about his contract. And he said there's been conversations back and forth. He's letting his agent handle that. This is one of those, another guy, and I don't blame him. That's what you have an agent for. Look, let them do it. Day one of training camp, my mind flips to obviously helping my team and doing everything I can within the organization on the football field to make sure I am my best and everyone around me is their best. That'll take care of itself like it always has. JJ, this goes back to what you were saying. I'm going to trust Dak Prescott on this. For whatever you think he is and whatever you think his limitations may be, one thing he is pretty steady and consistent. I don't worry about the emotional swings on him. So I agree with you. If there's a dude that I'm like, all right, I'm gonna trust that dude, is probably him.
Yeah, this is something that for a lot of Cowboy fans, been there, done that with Dak. You have an expectation up to a certain point, and I think this season it is fascinating because you either believe he can do it or he can't do it. And is it really as simple as, well, if he wins one playoff game, then all of a sudden they're going to take a step back and pay him? Is it, well, he has to get to an NFC Championship game? Because that's the narrative.
No doubt.
The Cowboys have also painted onto Dak Prescott with where they're at with the contracts for their franchise players. But still, with all that swirling around, I trust Dak Prescott to be ready to go to lead this team.
Yeah. Cowboy fan, you feel better? He said it's nothing, man. I was just wearing a boot. I was sore. It's precautionary. As you get older, you take care of your body. You get smarter. You know what to do. And nothing to see here. I know you saw a boot, but nothing to see here. I'm all good. Sorry I caused such a stink. We'll see. But it's interesting. And he says CeeDee Lamb is going to be fine. Okay. All right. We will see. The number to get in is 505-246-0610. Area code 505-246-0610. Again, emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. We come back, more and more athletes, basketball players, explaining to you why they chose where they chose in free agency. And USA friendly versus Canada today. An injury to one of the biggest names on the team. Why he won't play and how serious it is and how concerning it is. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
It's the OD in the AM with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Merry Wednesday. Welcome to the middle of your week. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Lots going on a summer Wednesday. You're like, well, I keep hearing people tell me, oh, there's nothing going on. I'm like, really, dude? There's tons going on, and there's always tons going on. But between the media days and the U.S. Open Cup and USA basketball and Rory spoke today. It's the opening drive, and we're going to talk about all of it. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. JJ was talking to a young lady, one of the TV people here in Las Vegas yesterday, and they're increasing their sports department over there at the Fox affiliate and with all the sports they got. But she's like, damn, I mean, I don't even know how we cover it all today or this week, between media days and the Aces are home and USA basketball's in town and Summer League next week and the Raiders. And I'm like, gosh, it's a good problem, right? It's a good problem to have. USA basketball tonight, they will, this is the men's team that will be representing the United States in the Olympics. They are playing Canada. And no Kevin Durant tonight, JJ. He has got a calf injury. They will play 5 exhibition games before they go to Paris. But this is the calf strain that kept Durant out of the whole training camp. He says he feels better. He was working out, and he got hurt about 10 days ago. Concern? Because I don't think this is just roll out the basketballs and they win this thing.
Oh, I think I'm concerned for Kevin Durant, not Team USA.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Like, Kevin Durant is an afterthought on this team.
Really?
Yes. Like, it's at this point in time, if I'm Kevin Durant and if I'm the Phoenix Suns, the last thing I want is this dude playing the Olympics. If he's already dealing with a calf injury, 36 years old, finally was on the floor for 75 games last year. And then the offseason, you want him to be playing, and the calf, which we saw him lead to an Achilles, like, I would just be super nervous about everything surrounding Kevin Durant's legs right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I think he's an afterthought, but it's interesting that guy is even considered an afterthought at 36 years old. I agree with you. I'm more concerned for his future with the Suns and that sort of a thing. 100%. Look, this is a team, probably, what's your starting lineup? And it's probably Steph Curry, LeBron James, Joel Embiid. And then does Durant get in the starting lineup? Do you go with Anthony Edwards? Well, yeah. Do you go with Devin Booker? Well, of course. Well, Drew Holiday? Yes.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard? Jason Tatum? Wait. Yeah, who's playing?
Players? Like, I'm not talking about someone's resume or who they've been in their career. Like, would you say, well, is Kevin Durant better than Bam Adebayo and Tyrese Halliburton? Okay, sure. But if I have Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, like, Kevin Durant's falling down that list.
Especially at this point. And, man, I'll give you this. A hurt Kevin Durant certainly has fallen down that list, right?
And someone that's close with him, and I'll have my eye on, is called Kawhi Leonard. And I do think that this is actually a very big moment for Kawhi to show his strength and his health the way he ended last season and the last few seasons. But the thing is with Kevin Durant, with Kawhi Leonard, like they don't have to lean on these guys. Like you can throw the young dudes out there. You can get a lot of minutes out of Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton. And
why do you think it's so big for Kawhi?
Confidence.
Oh, it's more so for like him himself as opposed to what people are thinking or saying about him. Okay. Well, I think it's a confidence thing if he's healthy, and if, for crying out loud, if he's on this team, then he should be healthy, right? I mean, if someone's just going for the experience and the ride, and I'm not claiming that anybody is, whether it's Durant or Kawhi or any of those guys, if you're not healthy, like give up your spot and give it to someone who can help you. I can understand. Yeah, I want a gold medal. I want to be part of this. I want to make sure this is on my resume when I'm done. I want to be, Olympic gold medalist, because that's. I mean, nobody's ridden that more than like Carmelo Anthony, right? And that was the biggest thing. But that's interesting. On the Kawhi thing, here's what they've got. So they got 5 games, and Durant says he hopes to be back on the court for the Abu Dhabi portion of the exhibition schedule. That's games against Australia on July 15th, which is 5 days away, and then Serbia, and then they open. Gosh, the Olympics open up on the 17th. I mean, it's coming quick. They open up really, really quick. All right, 505-246-0610. Rudy, you're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Rudy. How you living?
Good morning. I'm doing great. I kind of cringed when I saw that Gundy take. A couple of things. Number one, if you're under 21, at least in New Mexico, it's not .08, it's .02.
Okay. Now, I don't know what the Oklahoma law is, but yeah.
Got the same federal money, to do all this anti-DWI stuff, because until the mid-'80s, maybe a little after, the national standard was .10. And a lot of Mothers Against Drunk Drivers got on board and said that's too high, 08. So they lured states to changing their law by offering a lot of federal dollars. And that's how we have, in New Mexico, the Implied Consent Act. That was all started with federal dollars, and they still get federal dollars. And that's your license in 90 days.
Yeah, look, can I reset this for someone who's just walking and doesn't understand what you're talking about? So Mike Gundy is the coach at Oklahoma State, and one of his players, and one of his best players, Ollie Gordon, his running back who won the Doak Walker Award last year, was recently arrested for driving under the influence. He blew a .10, and he's 20 years old. And so Mike Gundy yesterday at Big 12 Media Day, and this is just, Rudy, I just want to reset it for people who are just jumping in on this. Basically, said that, we've all done it. He's had a couple of beers, and I've done it, 1,000 times. And that basically was what he was saying. And so go on. I just want to reset it for people who didn't know the story.
Information, Gundy's not giving accurate information. I mean, you can drink 3 beers if you eat a meal, and your blood alcohol level will be much lower. If you're drinking on an empty stomach, your blood alcohol level is going to be higher. That's the science.
No.
And so I don't know what this kid was up to, but his blood alcohol level was far beyond what it should be for a minor. And you can't just sugarcoat that. What Gundy needs to say is, hey, he's my best running back, and I need him to play, so I don't care if he got a DWI. That's the more honest way to say it.
He kind of did.
Yeah.
He kind of did say that, just in a different way.
I'm going to punish him. He's not going to punish him. Sitting out an exhibition game isn't punishment. If you're really going to punish somebody for doing something like that, make him go to anti-DWI classes, make him do a first offender program, make him do something more than what he's going to have to do if he's convicted. That's just my 2 cents on it, because that's area of my practice, and I know this stuff. Yeah. And I don't think you should be encouraging underage drinking. That's really the bottom.
Totally understand. Yeah, I think there's a lot to that. Thanks, Rudy. I appreciate it. JJ, you made a point earlier on this. And again, I was there. I saw Mike Gundy on the stage talk about this. And Mike Gundy's a very confident coach. Mike Gundy's been the coach at Oklahoma State for, 18 years or something. So you basically read this as this is a guy who said, I've been here forever. Nothing you can do to me, and it's my star player, and bleep it, we've all done it, and I do it, and so I'm not doing anything to him. What are you going to do to me?
Yeah, it was the classic. It's none of your business. It's handling behind closed doors, if anything. And Mike Gundy said the punishment will be 50 carries for him in game one. And I understand the whole exhibition game mindset. We're starting off with an FCS team, but still, for players, it's playing time, and that's an area to start. And then if you did the other things to hold them accountable, like Rudy was saying, like whatever steps he has to do, classes he needs to take, like that's part of the process when you make a mistake. But to just be so arrogant and adamant, it's a vibe you get from so many coaches, and especially in Gundy, he's kind of at that point where he's like, you're not going to bring me down. I'm going to do whatever I want. Have fun trying to tell me how to handle this.
Yeah, it was interesting watching him. And, there's a lot of young, dynamic coaches in that league. And then there's these two veterans, and the two veterans are so totally different in Gundy and Kyle Whittingham. And the way they all carried themselves. And it was interesting. But he was, I don't want to say defiant, and he was expecting that question. And obviously he had his answer ready to go, and then he had to come back and say, look, I'm not justifying it. I'm just trying to explain it, and whatever it is he said as he went through the whole thing. And there was a lot of backlash. That was the biggest headline coming out of there, wasn't there?
Yeah, you have a player that's getting Heisman buzz. That could be one of the best running backs in the country. And his head coach was like, we good. He had
to go back. Yeah, he had to basically clarify what he said afterwards. He put out a statement. He says, my intended point at Big 12 Media Days was that we are all guilty of making bad decisions. It was not a reference to something specific. Well, it kind of was. I've been with Ollie a considerable number of times and listened to him. He was remorseful and knew how serious it could have been. That allowed me to make a decision. I have to make a decision. There's a lot of people involved in this decision, not just him. I wanted it to be over with today, other than what he has to deal with from a legal standpoint. But for our team and me, it's over today, and we try to regroup heading forward. That was Mike Gundy after his statement. Well, first of all, it was specific. You did specifically talk about bad decisions and drink a few beers, and I've done it. It was specific. And as much as like Mike was up on the stage, and I listened to him, and I was with some people, and I'm like, man, do you get to make the rules here? Does you address it today, and we're never talking about it again? Do you get to do that?
Yes. It's his program. The SID is going to tell you what you can or cannot ask him.
I mean, you know how those things work. So let's see. All right, 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. Emails are coming in this morning. I'll get those, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. When we come back, I don't know if you noticed, man, the Yankees started out as the hottest team in baseball. And now their GM is stepping in saying, okay, this has gone on long enough. They're the opposite of the hottest team in baseball. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Glad you're with us this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug for United. They'll be in Los Angeles. Los Angeles LAFC is who they'll play quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup. And they're calling it, and understandably so, the biggest game in the history of the franchise. And tell me how serious, do you have any idea how LAFC approaches this? We know they played Real Salt Lake a few weeks ago. Feels like a hour forever ago, but I guess it was about a month ago in the U.S. Open Cup. And LAFC, this was 2 rounds ago, was at the top of the table in the West in MLS, but they didn't play a lot of their players. Real Salt Lake. How does LAFC approach this? Any idea?
Well, there was a good nugget in Ken Sickinger's story this morning, the Albuquerque Journal, which looks at the schedule for LAFC. And so it could change how they play tonight's game, because they were scheduled to play Houston this weekend. That game was postponed with the storm coming through. So LAFC hasn't played since July 4th. They don't have a game this weekend. So they might roll out a pretty strong squad for tonight's game.
Okay. If you're United, I mean, the bottom line is you want to move on. You want to beat their best, don't you? Or do you care? You just want to, because I know that they were touting afterwards when they played Real Salt Lake. Well, we just beat one of the best MLS teams in America. Whoa, what's that? Adrian's got something up on the screen. BetMate. I was like, you got a score already? 1-0 LAFC. So that's the odds on this is a 1-0 LAFC win. Is that what he's showing me? It's interesting. When they beat Real Salt Lake, JJ, they touted it. We beat one of the best teams in MLS, and look, and they did. You just want to win, or would you rather them play their best and see how you stack up?
It doesn't matter. Like if you're the New Mexico United, you could, if they played their entire academy team, you wouldn't tell anybody. I'm talking about LAFC, and you win that game, you say you just beat an MLS team,
right? And advance to the semifinals. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. All right, so that'll be tonight, and I know many of you will be watching that. It's a big match for them. JJ, we started the baseball season, and I know it feels like yesterday, but it feels like 18 years ago. The Yankees were unbelievable, and they look like murderers row, and they couldn't be beat. They're slumping now. They lost 5-3 to Tampa Bay yesterday. Their 17th loss in their last 23 games. And it was their general manager was there, their owner was there, and they don't always travel with the team, but Hal Steinbrenner, Brian Cashman traveled with the team. And he said, Brian Cashman said, because of how we've been playing, I've decided to join us. It's been a struggle, obviously. Thankfully, we got out of the gates really strong, so that cushion will allow us to work through this, hopefully sooner than later. But JJ, which is the real Yankee team? Is it the team that started out ripping the ball and beating everybody and looking like they were unbelievable, or is it this team who's lost 17 of 23? And look, everybody has an opinion on the Yankees. They're top of the wild card race in the American League, but they were up by 3.5 games as recently as June 19th, and now they're trailing the Baltimore Orioles by 3 games. Going into the All-Star break, they're kind of the talk of baseball right now, and I got to believe they're going to shake something up here pretty soon. Is it Aaron Boone?
This is the beauty of baseball, because you're doing something to make your fan base think like you're doing something, like showing up, going on the road, like you're going through injuries. You have a lot of ups and downs with the pitching staff and a long baseball season. You're 3 games back of the division leaders. You could be fine in a blink of an eye. The season is forever. So who are the real Yankees? They're probably in between the team that was on fire and the team that's been the worst team in baseball, and that has them still in contention to win a division. Wild card going to be right there, and if anything, you're always looking to add arms to your pitching staff. With Garrett Cole, a late start to the season with his injury. And to me, this is just, all right, we have to show like we are doing something, so we're going on a trip. Like, this is baseball, man. It's the beauty of it is you can have a terrible month, and it doesn't take you out if you've had a great start.
If you have the great start, which they did, and they've got the cushion. I tend to believe they're closer to the team that started if they start getting some pitching. And I firmly believe that as we start coming up on the trade deadline, which is going to hit here soon, that they get whatever they want because, well, they always do, and they're the Yankees. I look around. The Dodgers they're hurt, and they're still, they scuffle at times. They got beat 10-1, but they're still in first place. I agree with you on it's baseball. I mean, it's just, dude, it's 6 months of up and down. April, May, June, July, August, September. It's 6 months of just up and down every single day. Baseball's grueling. I know people say it's easy and they're not the real athletes. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Man, every other sport, you get a few days off here, a few days off there. You're not playing games every day. Baseball is a grueler of a season, and you hit now, and you're traveling to wherever you're going. I know a lot of the stadiums are now climate controlled, but you're playing the humidity of Miami, or you're playing in the heat of Philadelphia, and it's a grueler. I'm not telling you it is the hardest sport. That's not what I'm telling you. But I think people underestimate the grind that the baseball season come about right now.
Yeah, no doubt. And this is one where you can't win it early, but you can lose it. And the Yankees didn't lose it. They were winning it, so they can weather a stretch like this where they're playing like the worst team in baseball. Because I look at it and, it's the GM, they're on the road trip, this or that. It's like you're 3 games back of the Orioles, which could change in just one series against Baltimore. They're still plus 99 run differential, which is tied with the Baltimore Orioles.
Right.
And yeah, if anything, it's try to acquire some talent, but it's just get out of the funk, and it's just like, hey, we got important people doing important things, so we're addressing it.
So we're gonna send the boss on the road trip and see what he does. By the way, Orioles are nice. I know they're not household names for a lot of people, and you're gonna watch, but you're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna watch the All-Star game next week. JJ, people are gonna be going, "Who's this guy? Who's that guy?" They're gonna sound like my mom. Never heard of him.
The Cleveland Guardians lineup. They are.
The amount of first-time All-Stars is actually so good for this game. And just because I tell you this all the time, and I'll tell you again, just because you don't know about something doesn't mean it's not good. The amount of young talent in baseball right now is great for the game. Now, if they decide to capitalize on it and they figure out how to market it and make a run, they're in a great spot because there are so many good young dynamic baseball players. JJ, I'll take the Caitlin Clark angle on this. Paul Skeens should start for the American League on the or for the National League on the mound, don't you think?
I don't see why not.
Who is it? I mean, give me the better candidate. I understand there's some players with better numbers because this guy started the season in the minors. And he's probably got 10 starts under his belt? But he's the draw, isn't he?
He is the draw. If you're going at it with that angle, Paul Skeens would be the guy that you'd give the nod to.
And I don't know that I think that, baseball-wise or in regards to, statistics and all that stuff, I don't know that you got to make a huge stretch when you're saying he's my guy.
Yeah, if you're talking about marketing and finding the opportunity to cash in, Skeens is that guy. Now, Straight, who's been better, there's been some fantastic pitchers in the National League, but it's the All-Star game. You're selling a story. You're trying to sell your product, and he's at the top of that list.
Hit me with it. I mean, I'm here for it, and I think I think you're going to find out about some good young players everywhere, and Paul Skeens at the top of it. All right, 505-246-0610. The Minnesota Vikings are going to be an interesting one this year, I think. They just re-signed their stud receiver, but they let their quarterback go. What does their stud receiver think about their longtime quarterback leaving, and how do they move forward? It's a big one in the NFL. We'll hit that next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Yards per game in his career. It's the most in the NFL ever per game. He's coming up on 6,000 career yards, most of the NFL history through first 4 seasons. And now he's going to have to adjust to life without his quarterback, without Kirk Cousins, without the 36-year-old who departed in free agency and went somewhere else. So how does this go with him, and how does Justin Jefferson feel about it? And he's not surprised. He was on with Rich Eisen yesterday, and he asked if he was surprised. His answer was yeah, no. He says, quote, I always knew Kirk was going to do whatever he needs to do for his business-wise. I just knew that everything wasn't the way he wanted it to be here, especially just with having to pay me and having to pay so many other different guys. I feel like he just wanted a new start, a new opportunity to start with Atlanta and a clean slate. I'm not mad at him at all for that. I'm grateful for what he's brought to me and the things that we've accomplished together. But at the end of the day, it's a business decision, and you have to do what you have to do for yourself and your family. I clearly understand that. It's on to the next. It doesn't really matter what quarterback it is in my eyes. I'm always going to make the best of my opportunity, always going to be the quarterback's friend, make his job easier. It doesn't matter if it's Kirk or Sam or JJ. I'm going to make it as easy as possible for them. End quote. Is it as easy as plug and play? And I always go to these relationships, quarterback and receiver, and you wonder who makes who better. And very often the answer is both. Very often the answer is, well, you don't have Dak Prescott without CeeDee Lamb. You don't have Jerry Rice without Joe Montana. Like, did Joe Montana make Jerry Rice better, or Jerry Rice make Joe Montana better? And the answer is, well, yeah, they were unbelievable. JJ, who was more essential in that? Justin Jefferson or Kirk Cousins?
I do think that even talking about receivers, you can tier them, and there's certain guys that can perform at a high level regardless. And Justin Jefferson is an elite wide receiver. You look at Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, heck, Devontae Adams are guys that I think are going to be able to put up big numbers, make catches, regardless of the quarterback. And Kirk Cousins has a strong enough track record that you trust in Kirk Cousins with or without Justin Jefferson as well. What really stood out to me in this story is Jefferson saying that things weren't the way Kirk wanted them to be.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like? I understand some of the things that he's done in his career, and he's had a lot of franchise tags, but guaranteed money. But people have been all in on Kirk Cousins. Like, and Kevin O'Connell came in, and things were looking pretty good in Minnesota. So what was off? Did he think that Minnesota wasn't going to be all in on him again, even before he got hurt? Because it seems like Kirk Cousins has, surpassed all that stuff, and he's proven people, yeah, right, you keep giving me these franchise tags, I'm still going to be performing at a high level.
And he's made a lot of money on those franchise tags. A lot of money on those franchise tags. He just made a lot more. It's interesting how what Jefferson thinks moving forward. He said he thinks Sam Darnold's doing a great job with communicating and connecting. He understands that he's the new guy. And it feels like he thinks Sam Darnold may be the starter there. He talks about Kirk Cousins. He says to have Sam in there, more of a veteran, and have JJ come in and learn from him is definitely something we needed. I think it'll be great for JJ. The way he makes it sound is Sam Darnold was probably going to be the opening day starter. I would not be surprised if Sam Darnold starts opening day in Minnesota, would you? Instead of J.J. McCarthy, a guy they targeted in the draft, they went and got.
I wouldn't be surprised. Sam Darnold, with doing nothing the last few years, has this vibe like he's going to be able to step in and excel. Now he's in the last 2 years, being a backup in San Francisco and now in Minnesota, the best places he's been in his career. Jets not good, and remember him seeing ghosts on the sideline, going to Carolina, not great. And then so you look at, if you believe that there's something there talent-wise with Sam Darnold, and this experience is a positive in this case, I am not surprised that the buzz has been Sam Darnold starting the season for Minnesota, because they're a team that they really aren't expecting this to be a rebuild year. It's
right
picking up where they left off before Kirk Cousins got hurt.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. And I agree with you on the Sam Darnold thing. Like, I've always kind of liked him, but he has gotten so much love over the last couple of years, and to your point, done nothing. And maybe he's that great guy in the room and a great teammate, and now he's that veteran presence. But he hasn't played, and yet people love him and keep paying him. So, all right, 505-246-0610. Come on in today. 888-922-0610. Your emails are coming in. Again, at Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Roy McIlroy spoke today. We can get into that as he goes through. I thought what he said was really interesting, and more so to me was how he said it. But it was the first time you've heard or seen from Rory after the U.S. Open, where he was leading coming down the stretch. And Kawhi and Paul George spoke all season about staying together. So was Kawhi surprised when Paul George left for free agency? Talk about that and how that all went down next on the opening drive. Hey, if you've been a victim of any sort of break-in, home, business, you know too well that it takes hours, if not days, for police to respond because they just flat out don't have enough officers to cover all the calls they get for service. And when it's you, when it's your home, when it's your business, you want a quicker response. You need a quicker response. So how about 7 minutes or less? That's normally the response time for customers of International Protective Service, IPS. IPS offers officers strategically placed around Albuquerque, now in Santa Fe. They react quickly. They catch criminals in the act often, detain them, call the police, they come get them. IPS provides standing guards if you need eyes on your property around the clock, and they install alarms and camera systems. And they have a state-of-the-art facility to monitor those cameras 24/7. It raises the level of security around your home. You're going traveling this summer. Who's watching your home? Make sure it's the good guys and not the bad guys. Can't prevent it all, but if you have no protection, you are more likely to be victimized by crime. 505-897-2420 is the number. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shawty, she better than all my intentions. Like And shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL.
And he said he talked with Paul George throughout this season about the contract negotiations, and Kawhi said he wasn't surprised that Paul George left to sign with the Sixers. He was talking about, and getting anything out of Kawhi is something, but George signed a 4-year, $212 million deal. He said, we knew what it was before the season. This is Kawhi Leonard. We knew what it was going to come down to, so we talked the whole way through. It's no surprise. It was money, and I get it, and I don't have a problem. You know, people sit there and say guys should chase rings, and I don't know how one person can tell another person what the priority in their life should be, whether it should be the opportunity to win, the geography, the money. But obviously, Paul George wanted another check, and he got it. And you could make a real argument. He's got a better opportunity to win a ring in the situation he is in Philadelphia than what he had in Los Angeles.
Yes, you can. There's giant question marks with the top players in each team. Kawhi Leonard's postseason versus Joel Embiid's postseason. I think the ceiling in Philadelphia is higher than it is in LA. Even if you brought back Paul George, Kawhi Leonard with James Harden. And the Clippers, they lowballed Paul George. I think that was in an effort because they didn't want to, have a 4-year contract, $200+ million on the books. Like, they'll ride out the next 2 to 3 years with Harden and Kawhi. I think they're fine with that. And then have a bit of a reset. And the Clippers, and you joke about it all the time, they're a franchise that, they're going to clip. And the FX series, a lot of people are dubbing it losing time.
Is it called winning time? What's it called?
Clipped.
Isn't it? Oh, that's the
doc based.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
No, I've seen that the casting's terrible.
Is it right?
Dudes do not look like, it's nothing like winning time at all, in just terms of the presentation and the actual athletes in it. But it's more about just what happened with Donald Sterling in the NBA in that. But the one thing with the Clippers and all this, even if they lowball Paul George because they don't want to have that core moving forward for the next 3 to 4 years, like, this is a franchise that I give them credit. Like, Steve Ballmer isn't afraid of spending money. He went out, they tried to acquire star players and put it together. It didn't work. And I think they saw that. That's why they didn't want to go $200+ million with Paul George. And we'll see what happens in the next 2 years, especially their brand new building, just trying to stay competitive and bring a buzz to the city.
Yeah, do you feel differently? And I do. It's kind of a Cowboys thing in some respect, where, if they're trying and it doesn't work, all right, because everything doesn't work. It's when you don't do anything and expect it to work. But it's a different Clippers that you're talking about now than you're talking about in that documentary, right? Oh, yeah. Or in that movie or whatever the hell it is, that series. I mean, that's a Donald Sterling nightmare franchise. Now, are they still the same franchise? Are they still cursed? It is what it is. And I wonder, I know it sounds silly, and probably it is, but franchises that just move from San Diego to LA and think they're going to be better, will they ever win anything? I mean, the Clippers have been up there, 30 years?
Nada.
I mean, we'll see. I'm interested. But, Ty Lue is the Clippers coach. He talked about it, too. He said, you lose an important piece of the team. It's hard to replace. I'm disappointed that we weren't able to get it done. So, all right, JJ's got you the rest of the way. I got to go do some business. I'll see you tomorrow from Las Vegas. All conference teams will probably be out here in a minute. They'll probably hit your email.
They're out. We'll talk about the all conference teams. We'll talk about the standings. They're all out.
They are?
Yeah, came out
all right.
a half hour ago.
All right. Well, JJ will hit them on it when we come back. It's the opening drive. Thanks for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home?
Head coaches did end last season as a Mountain West champion, so there's not a lot of questions there, and that's Spencer Danielson up there in Boise State. But the 6 other coaches taking over the turmoil with Utah State and Blake Anderson just last week announced the program did school that they were parting ways with Blake Anderson, so they have that to deal with. But then, of course, Bronco Mendenhall at UNM, Nevada, San Diego State, Wyoming, and San Jose State all have new coaches. So what does that mean for next season? Is there a chance in a really wide open Mountain West outside of the top 3 for a team like New Mexico to make some noise? Because the uncertainty surrounding the Lobos program, just the unknown of the players, who they are, who they're going to be on the field. Well, that's not the only team we have that question about. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck with you. Jeff Symbieta went to catch Commissioner Narvaez and her State of the Conference speech. So Jeff will be back with us again tomorrow live from Las Vegas, and he's going to be talking with the players, talking with the people around the Mountain West Conference. So really looking forward to his takeaway from everything that will happen today. But right now, let's dive in to the preseason thoughts. And here's the thing with the preseason poll. It's not the end-all, be-all. We understand that. Just let it be a guide, and then let your eyes tell you the story 4, 5, 6 games into the season. The one thing you know with the Mountain West Conference, for however long the Boise State Broncos are in the conference, they're going to be picked to win it. And Boise State, again, is the favorite top the conference. So it's Boise State, UNLV, Fresno State, Air Force, and Colorado State, the top 5. Wyoming, Utah State, San Diego State, Hawaii, San Jose State, 6 through 10. And then 11th is New Mexico, and 12th is Nevada. Let's go to the very top. And I have no problem with Boise State, and this is because of what they have returning. They have the best offensive weapon in the conference, Ashton Jeanty, the junior running back, who they're going to try to tout for a Heisman candidate, and we know how impossible it is at this point in time for a group of 5 players to be in that conversation, let alone a non-quarterback when it comes to the Heisman Trophy. How strong Boise State finished last season, parting ways with their coach, Spencer Danielson, coming in and winning the conference and beating UNLV in the Mountain West title game. I would flip UNLV and Fresno State in my early expectations. UNLV, Barry Odom, they were phenomenal last season. Barry Odom in year 1, they won 9 games. That's the most UNLV has won since 1984. They played for the Mountain West title against those Boise State Broncos. But I do think the turnover at quarterback is going to hurt them more than the team that brings back their quarterback, and that is Fresno State. Jordan Mayaba, who was phenomenal last year, freshman, transferred to USC. So UNLV's quarterback goes to USC. And while the defense is still solid for UNLV, I think Fresno State, who's still led by Jeff Tedford, even though he stepped away at the end of the last season to get healthy, he's back. They're coming off their win in the Isleta, New Mexico Bowl over New Mexico State. Mikey Keene, experienced veteran quarterback, is back healthy. Malik Sherrod, their running back. Their receivers are going to be more experienced this season. I like Fresno State as the second best team. So I do think it's Boise State, Fresno State, UNLV, based on the pieces they have. And then it's wide open after that. You can start looking at a track record, and don't doubt Air Force. Troy Calhoun, been there, done that. Because how many times have you look at the team going, oh, right, you know, the running backs, lost some big-time running backs, but with the option, the system, the style of play, Air Force is always right there. So I'm fine with the top four. I do think that's a tier that you trust in moving forward. But then outside of that, it is wide open. And there's no reason not to think New Mexico could be in that mix to pick off some of these teams. And Jay Norvell and Colorado State, if they can solidify the quarterback position, they have arguably the best wide receiver in the conference in Troy Horton. And you hope just having a staff there for a couple seasons now helps solidify the foundation. But again, it's the amount of player turnover, the amount of players in and out of the program. We just don't know with so many of these teams. Wyoming, you expect a solid foundation, even with Craig Bull moving on. Jay Salbell is the new head coach of the Cowboys. Utah State, Nate Drelling taking over with the Blake Anderson stuff. How does that affect the locker room just really a few weeks away from starting camp? San Diego State, this is the first time in a long time, really, that the Aztecs have really no expectations. And, you know, sometimes we go into the season, we do the Mountain West over-unders, and we're looking at these teams, and San Diego State, you know, sometimes they go down to 7.5, 6.5, but we always trust in them to be one of those teams that you just buy into. They're going to be good somehow, some way. They're going to be at the top of the conference, but they're 8th in the preseason poll, and that's just more uncertainty than we've seen in a long time with San Diego State. Sean Lewis takes over for Brady Hoke there. But the same thing, you know, Jimmy Chang and Hawaii, are they going to be able to get the athletes to make a difference? Nevada, Jeff Schote is the new head coach there. So when you look at the teams outside the top four, because I do think right now with Boise State, UNLV, Fresno State, and Air Force, there's a trust in the systems and the returning talent that outside of that, it's up in the air. And that's why I'm saying give them a chance. And the Lobos could pick off a couple of these games, because this is what we're going to really, I think, say every year now. With the back end of the conference, we heard it from Bronco Mendenhall, Lobo head coach, earlier this week, is there's going to be more unknowns than ever. So if you throw the Lobos into that unknown mix outside of the top four, yeah, there's a chance. Because we really won't be able to make a definitive, I don't even know if it's definitive, but just really have an idea of who these teams are until 3-4 weeks into the season. We see them play a couple games. We see the lineups. We see what the quarterback play is going to look like. So I believe in Mikey Keene, who is the preseason All-Mountain West quarterback, Fresno State, locked in there with Jeff Tedford. Boise State, Spencer Danielson returning the core of the team that won the Mountain West last year. I do think those are the top two teams in the conference. I would have UNLV 3 and Air Force 4. And then after that, it's really roll the dice. Who do you believe in the Mountain West Conference? And it could be anyone's game outside that top four. So the Mountain West preseason poll is out. Plenty to dissect, and it is all how you use it. Because the coaches at the back end will tell you the only way they can go is up, because you don't know what they have. They don't know what they have, and it could pop. And the coaches at the top will then tell you, hey, we might be picked preseason number 1, but we haven't proven anything yet. It's talking season. I know what it's all about. It's hyping up the year. Preseason all-conference teams, the preseason media poll, Mountain West football right around the corner, and kicks off. It is 0 week, August 24th for Lobo Football. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and Sports Animal Text Line this morning. And take your thoughts just on the tiers of the Mountain West Conference. I do think that there's a clear top tier. And even if you want to put it at 3, with Boise State, UNLV, Fresno State, I am not going to doubt Air Force finding a way, even with an entirely new offensive line. They're going to turn over 5 stars up front. Of Troy Calhoun getting the Falcons to be competitive. And then after that, it really is wide open. When you look at Colorado State, Wyoming, Utah State, San Diego State, Hawaii, San Jose State, UNM, and Nevada, with all the changes and all the turnovers. So the tiers of the Mountain West Conference will continue to dive in that. And also some breaking news from Team USA basketball. We have been discussing the ramp up to the Summer Olympics, the depth of this team, the veteran players from Kevin Durant and his Cavs, the other guys that could be on their last run as big-time members of Team USA. What is that breaking news as they're trying to go for the gold? We'll get into that next. It is Opening Drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like and shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up. Okay. Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420.
Well, Mountain West football isn't the only thing that's popping in Las Vegas. Team USA, they've been working out. We talked about the scrimmages. Team USA versus Team USA Select. Cooper Flagg, the 17-year-old that caught the attention of the NBA superstars, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, and Team USA. With some breaking news, a veteran player out. It's not Kevin Durant. Opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck with you this morning. Kawhi Leonard has withdrawn from Team USA basketball. So Kawhi Leonard injured to end last season. He was using this as a ramp up for not just next year with the Clippers, but get some confidence back in himself. But Kawhi Leonard has withdrawn, saying he's just not going to be at the place he needs to be by the start of the Olympics. That opens a spot. Who's it going to be? We shall see. But with Team USA taking on Canada tonight, they'll be down one roster player with Kawhi Leonard taking a step back. And, Kevin Durant could be the next one for Team USA that pulls out. But I understand Kevin Durant trying to hold on to this as long as he can. Because I don't know if Kevin Durant's going to be in the LeBron James situation. I don't know if Kevin Durant in 4 years is going to look as good as LeBron looks at 40. Because KD is 36. And he's looking at his last hoorah with Team USA basketball. So I think they are going to give KD the runway to work through this calf issue, the calf soreness that has kept him out of the first few days of Team USA practice. But I said it earlier, and this isn't 4 years ago where Kevin Durant would have been number 1 or number 2 on this team. It's a different time. And when you look at LeBron still being there, but Steph Curry, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis. Like, is Kevin Durant a big piece of that? Yes. Team USA, you're going to have a stacked roster regardless. But this isn't one where it's like, oh, no, you just lost Kevin Durant. And I think that this is a situation for KD coming off a season in which he played 75 games. He was on the court a lot for the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, you want that opportunity at a gold medal and playing for Team USA because the Olympics pop. And when the Olympics start, we fly our flags for whatever our country is and we go all in with it. But this is also trying to think about next season and get the most out of what you can with a Phoenix Suns team that it's those top 3 and bust. With the way they constructed that roster with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, bringing in Bradley Beal, there's not a lot of depth. They don't have a lot of options, so they have to lean it on a 36-year-old Kevin Durant again and keep his fingers crossed they can play 70-plus games next season. So I understand Kevin Durant trying to take his time, trying to make this Team USA roster and what could be his last ride with it. But we've also seen Kevin Durant over the last 5 years and battling back from injuries, coming back from the Achilles. And anytime we hear calf issues with basketball players, and heck, we saw it last year in the NFL with the Achilles and the quarterbacks, you just get worried. And for KD, he's going to hang on, but Kawhi Leonard has withdrawn from Team USA basketball. Still a stacked roster. I think it's going to be interesting. I think that in the scrimmage tonight against Team Canada in Vegas, there'll be some coasting. Maybe you'll have your moments, more of kind of an all-star game-like feel, as this is the first game for Team USA versus another country in the exhibition ramp-up until the Olympics. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line this morning. Also discussing the headlines, because it's headline season. That's what Media Day is all about, is just putting out headlines. You get your content for your social media teams, for the conference, all these players that are out there. But then it's just, how do you feel? And this season, not just for Lobo football, but I look at really 8 teams in the Mountain West Conference. I do not have a good feel of who they're going to be. And to me, I'm tiering it right now as opposed to just going, oh, this is 1 through 12 when it comes to the Mountain West Conference. I do think that there's a clear top 3. And it's Boise State and Fresno State. I credit Barry Odom and UNLV, but I would have them 3. UNLV was picked second in the preseason poll because I think that the quarterback is going to be a big thing there. Fresno State returns their quarterback. UNLV's quarterback transferred to USC. I trust Air Force and Troy Calhoun. And after that, it's wide open. That's what I'm really excited, to hear what Jeff, the vibe he gets from the conference. And be right now listening to Gloria Nevarez, the Mountain West Commissioner, speak. Then he'll be bouncing around, interacting with some of these players throughout the day, just to get the feel of where the Mountain West is right now in terms of going into the season. Because we know a commissioner, all they can do right now is hype their conference. There's not a giant plan that the Mountain West is going to unveil this morning and be like, oh, by the way, we're bringing in Oregon State and Washington State, and we are becoming the new Pac-12. Because all these schools, even trying to push together and forge an identity as the Mountain West, they all have individual interests. And we know things can change any day in college athletics. So really what you're looking for from the Mountain West today, the headlines, we'll discuss preseason teams, try to get an idea of who some of the top players are going to be in the conference. But it's just being the best you can be in the moment. How do you capitalize on this moment of having stability in a conference when there's so much instability across the board? The expanded 12-team playoff, can one of these teams get hot, have an undefeated season, put themselves in conversation to be a playoff team? Now, that is the focus right now for the Mountain West, is make sure you have a solid distribution platform. Your teams are going to be out there as much as they can this season. We've seen that with CBS Sports, Fox Sports, and the agreement they have now with TNT Sports. So we're going to see some Mountain West football games there. And be the best you can be, because we know that any moment things can be flipped upside down with college athletics. Got one quick nugget on a potential replacement for Kawhi Leonard, as Terry emailed the show, jj@sportsanimalabq.com. Does Jaylen Brown get a call up? I think that would be very interesting for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to team up on Team USA coming off their championship with the Boston Celtics. Derek White is a name, another Celtic I've seen floated out there. Jalen Brunson could be there if they want to bring in another guard. That's the thing right now with Team USA, is even losing a player of the caliber, the name recognition of Kawhi Leonard. There's a ton of fantastic options to fill his spot. So Kawhi pulls out, and Team USA is still stacked, and they'll get it going tonight against Team Canada in an exhibition as we build up to the Olympics. 505-246-0610 Sports Animal Hotline and text line. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Back and forth battle last night. Topes come up just short, but it's the second half of the season, and Albuquerque is a second half team. 6-7 right now in the second half. You'll get Sugar Land 7-5, El Paso 7-6, and it's all about the opportunity. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. Dave Baseball, so you know what that means as we get a chance to talk with the voice of the Isotopes, Josh Shushan. Good morning, man. How you doing?
Good morning, JJ. Thanks for having me on. I'm doing excellent.
I appreciate you jumping on anytime we get this opportunity when you guys get to take the ball field during the day. What's the vibe like now that the second half of the season has come around? And we've seen this in minor league baseball, knowing that you can restart. Do the players feel different? Does it feel different around the team when you hit the second half?
Yeah, I think it really does, and for most of these guys, they're used to it because a split season format is the norm in low A, in high A. Most double A as well has traditionally done a split season format. It's just most recently that triple A has gone in this split season format. Now, way back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, they also did it, but then it went away. And I talked to Noah Davis about this about a week ago because he started opening night 1.0, and then he started opening night 2.0 again. And he said that it really did feel like the second half, it felt like a new beginning, a new season, that whatever happened in the first half is kind of flushed. You kind of start to get that mentality again of brand new season is starting. And I asked him if, like they talked about it as a team, and he said, no, you don't really need to talk about it. Everybody just knows. Everybody just looks at the schedule. They know. Last year, manager Pedro Lopez kind of gave a little bit more of like a rah-rah speech going into the second half. This year, he felt like he didn't need to. I think it's really good. I just think that rosters change so much more now than they ever have. You just look at the number of players who are no longer with us. They're in Japan. They're in the major leagues. They're in another organization. And so I think it's good that we do this split season format.
Yeah, and I think so much of it, too, is mental for these guys. And you explain it very well, if people didn't know that they do play split season. So it's not something new. But when you have just that mental reset, because it's one thing to try to say, hey, we've been struggling, let's go out there and change it, but your record doesn't change. But when your record changes, I think it's probably easier as an athlete to be able to reset mentally, kind of focus on something new.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's really good too is that the mid-season point is when a lot of organizations traditionally will say, okay, well, now let's move this guy up from single A to double A, or this guy from double A to triple A. And, we haven't seen like a ton of new guys from double A yet this year the way that we did last year. When we went on our run last year, it was a much different team. It was a bunch of guys who had dominated double A, didn't have anything left to prove. Guys like Hunter Goodman, for example, who came up and had a big impact for us. And I think it's one thing if you join a new team midway through the season and you go, oh, look, we're 25 games under 500. It's really easy to just kind of think selfishly about what I need to do today, as opposed to, oh, I just joined this team and our record is 2-1. Our record is 6-7. Like, okay, we've got a chance to go to the playoffs here. What do I need to do individually, but also what can I do to help this team win and maybe get to a postseason? And I think that becomes a really important mindset too.
Josh Ushon, voice of Isotopes, joining us. Topes day game out there at the ballpark today, 12:05 first pitch. Of course, you can hear the game right here on the Sports Animal. Who has really impressed you this season? I look at the players that have been there and contributing on a daily basis. Drew Romo hitting 300, the catcher for the Topes. Who stood out to you in terms of consistency and potential ceiling that they have?
So there's a couple of guys who come to mind. And before I give you those guys, like the part that makes it hard to answer your question is Coco Montes, consistency, 3 straight years with the Isotopes. So he's in Japan now. Okay, Sam Hilliard, back with the Isotopes, becomes the all-time Isotopes home run champion, king. He's now in the major leagues. Hunter Goodman, he's now in the major leagues. Aaron Schunk, a year and a half, outstanding defense, very good production offensively. He's now in the major leagues. So the main guys who immediately come to mind, they're no longer with us. Again, they're in another country or they're with the Rockies. And so when I look at the guys that we have right now, the 2 guys that come to mind, number 1 is Greg Jones. And Jones is a guy who the Rockies got at the end of spring training from Tampa Bay. He was with us at the start of the year, got hurt, came back to us, went to the major leagues, didn't play a whole lot. Now he's back with us. This guy is one of the fastest guys in the sport, and he has unbelievable power that you would not expect from a guy when you see what his size is. And I just think that the ceiling is so high with him, with his ability to play center field, to go get it, with his throwing arm, with his power, with his speed. And then the other guy is Jimmy Herron. It's really easy to just kind of forget about Jimmy Herron, take him for granted. This is parts of 3 years that he's now been with us. He's our cleanup hitter now. He got hurt. He missed about a month. He's a guy who is also extremely fast. He can hit for average. He hits for power. He can run it down in the outfield. And I don't know exactly where he fits in terms of what the Rockies are thinking about him and his future, but I just know that when Jimmy Herron comes to the plate, he's going to give you an outstanding at-bat. He's the ultimate pro, that he can just do everything that you want someone to help you win a baseball game. And so those are the 2 guys when they're at the plate, I'm thinking like, all right, here we go. Get your popcorn. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I mentioned Jimmy Herron, 4 for 5 last night. He's on a 7-game hitting streak. You're slashing 538, 548, 962. That's a pretty darn good week that you're having. And you look at for the Isotopes, and it is the teams that are around them. Sugar Land and El Paso being 7-5 and 7-6. That they don't have a Reno, which is off to a really hot start, 12-1. But what have just been some of the differences, maybe in late in games in the last week or so with this team?
Look, pitching's been the problem the entire season, and pitching's been the problem for quite a few years now. So we basically reached this point in baseball. I'm going to give you kind of a big picture analysis of there's just so many injuries in baseball now, JJ, which your audience knows if you follow baseball. And the trickle-down impact of that is that anybody who's any good at AAA, they get called up to the major leagues. The years of, this guy's going to spend an entire season at AAA and develop, and then he's going to go to the major leagues the following year. Those days are done. Like, anybody who shows any type of success at AAA, they're going to the major leagues because there's going to be a need, because somebody gets hurt, or because, we had a bullpen game, and so now we need to have a fresh arm. And so because of that, what it leaves is whoever remains at AAA, you just don't know who you're going to have from day to day. I mean, we've had games where it's the 8th and 9th innings, and the top 3 guys are not available to pitch because one's going to the major leagues, one is probably going to the major leagues, and this guy pitched the day before, and so now we're using like the 4th or the 5th best option to try to close out a game. Remember that happened in Salt Lake, and it's really disheartening when you lose a game and your best late inning relievers don't pitch because they're gone or they're about to be gone. And so much of that happens, and so what that comes down to then becomes just the quantity of depth that you need in order to win games at AAA, which is what makes it so hard, and that's just what the Isotopes have not had. Now, what that does create is opportunities for guys. Maybe someone was pitching the 6th inning or the 7th inning, or they're the guy that pitched when the team was behind, and now you're getting a chance to prove what you can do. But it just becomes so difficult for everybody to say, like, hey, this is your role, because no, every day your role is different. Every day who you might have in the bullpen is totally different.
Josh Shushan with us here. And speaking of different roles, the All-Star game is right around the corner. And Jeff Symbieta threw this out there earlier, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. And he said right now with Major League Baseball, there's a lot of young stars in the game. And we've had this conversation, with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, and was it a missed opportunity for basketball not putting her on Team USA? He said, why not start Paul Skeens for the National League, the young, outstanding pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And so you have that mindset of just, try to hype up the story, young talent. But then you also look and, there's 4 guys right now in the National League with an ERA under 3, and 3 of them actually pitched for the Phillies. How do you feel about using the All-Star game as storylines versus, what it would mean to be an All-Star game starter?
Yeah, I mean, I like the way that Jeff's thinking about that. And a lot of times when it comes to who pitches and who starts, it's when was their last start. So I don't know what Skeens, when he pitches next, but let's say he pitches Sunday for the Pirates, well, then he's not going to pitch in the All-Star game at all, right? I look back to when I was a kid in the 80s, and I'm dating myself here, but Dwight Gooden pitched in the 1984 All-Star game, and that was when all of America got to see just how good Dwight Gooden is. And he didn't pitch, he didn't start the game. He was like a 19-year-old rookie, 2 years out of high school. It didn't matter what inning he pitched. That was the most exciting part of the 1984 All-Star game, was seeing Dwight Gooden just completely dominate, and that's when the country just went, wow, okay, this is this kid in New York that we're reading about. Now we get to see him. So I really hope that Paul Skeens pitches at some point, whether it's the first inning or the third inning. Honestly, I really don't care. I just want to make sure that he pitches, because I think that All-Star games become a showcase for, okay, there's the All-Stars within the All-Stars. And in some cases, it's the Lifetime Achievement Awards for the guys like Cal Ripken Jr. and Mariano Rivera. And then sometimes it's for the next young superstar, whether that's Paul Skeens or Dwight Gooden back in the day. And I hope and think that whoever the managers are just recognize these are the biggest storylines within all of these other All-Stars, and let's make sure we showcase them.
Fantastic stuff as always. Is it 11:45, 11:50? When do you take the air?
11:45 pregame and 12:05 first pitch. I tell you what, if people like stolen bases, they're going to really like this series, because Tacoma runs like crazy. They lead the league in stolen bases by a wide margin. The Isotopes are tied for second in stolen bases amongst all affiliated teams. Both of them are way up near the top. And so get your track shoes ready. It's a baseball game, but there's a lot of guys who are really fast, who can really run, and that's my kind of baseball.
Lunch at the ballpark. Always appreciate it, man. We'll tune in here shortly.
All right, very good. Thank you, JJ.
Josh Shushan joining us. Topes and Tacoma, 12:05 first pitch, 11:45 pregame right here on the Sports Animal. Wrap it up after this. The opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Yeah, it's a bunch of talking points, great social media content. But I do think it is interesting when you look at the Mountain West Conference. There are clear tiers. I think you could say there's 3 tiers. There's the conference championship contenders, Boise State, UNLV, Fresno State. There's the, you just expect them to be good. I put Air Force nipping at their heels, probably Wyoming right now. And then the tier of roll the dice and see what you get when it comes to Colorado State, Utah State, San Diego State, Hawaii, San Jose State, UNM, and Nevada. That's where we're at right now with Mountain West football. And some of those teams, you're like, what are you talking about? We know they're going to be good, but there's so much turnover, not just on rosters, but 6 brand new head coaches, 7 new head coaches. If you do include Spencer Danielson, who was given the full-time job at Boise State, but he ended the season leading that program to a Mountain West championship last year. So really just 6 new coaches in this era of college football. The roster turnover, it is anyone's game when you look at who's going to be chasing down the top of the Mountain West Conference. So Jeff Zimbieta, who is in Las Vegas, he's going to be bouncing around talking to some players and people throughout the conference. Excited to talk with him back on tomorrow for the full 3 hours from Vegas, just to get a sense on, does he hear anything about where the conference is going? Kind of what is the 3-year plan for the Mountain West? Because we know at least 2 years, and you got to use air quotes to everything because things could change overnight. It does feel like Oregon State and Washington State, listening to what those schools are saying, is they want to make a definitive decision about their future early next year. So you have this football scheduling agreement where Oregon State and Washington State are playing Mountain West teams, and Washington State is going to be in Albuquerque late in the season. The Olympic sports where those schools are playing in the West Coast Conference. But just getting a better idea of kind of what that relationship is going to be moving forward, because it comes back down to money. What money is available? Is there something that makes sense when the television contract is up in a year for the Mountain West if they merge or somehow become the Pac, whatever it may be at that point in time? So you're not going to get definitive answers from anything today. It is just about hyping up where you're at right now, this specific moment in time, what could be in store for the conference, 12-team college football playoff, going all those things, but at least having some ideas of what's coming in the future. And some of that could actually be how much is invested in these athletic programs. We were talking about some stories earlier this week coming out is, do they try, because I don't know how long Oregon State and Washington State are going to feel like they have power in this situation, because they have some nice money in the coffers right now, but you no longer have a Pac-12 television deal. So you're going to start burning through that money. You're going to start losing some of the leverage that they have as this goes longer and longer. JJ Buck with you, wrapping up the opening drive here on The Sports Animal. But all eyes on Vegas. Breaking news, Kawhi Leonard pulls out for Team USA. Kevin Durant injured with the calf, but they'll take the court tonight against Team Canada. I think it's going to be a lot of fun watching this story because every 4 years we go all in, get locked in with Team USA basketball, and of course all the other Olympic sports, flying whatever flag you want to fly there. And I think that's a really interesting spot. A lot of noise is that Derek White, Boston Celtics guard, could take his position, but man, you go down the list, you have really good options to replace a player like Kawhi Leonard with Team USA basketball. Thank Josh Sushan for hanging out with us a little bit because you get day baseball, 12:05 first pitch. You can have lunch at Isotopes Park as Albuquerque takes on Tacoma. You have the game right here on the Sports Animal. Adrian, great work as always on ProView. Looking good where you can watch this show. We got Jim Rome coming up next, leading you into Isotopes baseball. Then 2 men on will take over after the Topes this afternoon. We'll be back with you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Everybody, Metal with peace and love. Have a great day.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.